Hello everyone, today I'm going to be comparing homemade Crumbl cookies to the original Crumbl cookies. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making two copycat recipes. I'm going to be making a copycat recipe for the milk chocolate chip cookie as well as a copycat recipe for the vanilla sugar cookie. Just a note about the vanilla sugar cookie, I'm actually using the recipe for the pink sugar cookie, which uses almond extract, but it is the same base cookie, so I'm just going to be swapping it out for vanilla extract. I'm definitely curious to see how my homemade copycat recipes are going to compare with the original Crumbl cookies, so let's go ahead and get started with our milk chocolate chip cookie. For our recipe, we're going to start off with 1 1/2 cups of butter in our bowl, and to it we're going to add 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. And we're also going to add in 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Now we're going to cream together our butter and sugar. Now we're going to add in 2 eggs and 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla. Now we're going to combine this together until it's light and creamy. Now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking soda, as well as 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And now we're going to mix this together until it's thoroughly combined. And now we're going to add 4 1/4 cups of flour. And now we're going to combine this without overmixing. Now we're going to carefully add and fold in 2 cups of milk chocolate goutarde chips. Now that our cookie dough is done, we're going to be making 1/2 cup scoops. So these are going to be very large cookies, just like Crumbl. Now we're going to roll our dough out into a smooth ball. Now that our cookies are all rolled out, we're going to top them with chocolate chips. Now we're going to bake our cookies in a 375-degree oven for around 12 to 15 minutes until the cookies start to turn golden brown. I just took the cookies out of the oven, and now we're going to let them cool in a tray for around 20 minutes. Now I'm going to be moving on to our sugar cookies. For our recipe, we have 1 cup of butter inside our large bowl, and to it we're going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. Now we're going to combine this together with our hand mixer until it's light and fluffy. Now we're going to add in our 2 eggs and 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And now we're going to beat this until thoroughly mixed. Now we're going to add in our baking powder and combine this as well. Finally, we're going to add in 3 cups of flour, and we're going to combine this as well. Now that our cookie dough is done, I'm going to be placing it on our baking tray with a 1/4 cup scoop. Now that our cookies are rolled out, we're going to bake them at 350 degrees for around 9 to 11 minutes until the center of the cookies are puffed and they're no longer glossy. I just took our cookies out of the oven, and while they're cooling, I'm going to get started on our frosting. For our frosting, we're going to start off by creaming up 1 stick of butter. Now we're going to slowly add in 3 cups of powdered sugar, and we're just going to do this in batches. Now that we've added some of our sugar to our butter, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to combine this as well. Now that our frosting is a lot thicker, we're going to gradually add in 1 to 3 tablespoons of cream, and this is just to help thin it out. And now we're going to continue to make our frosting by adding the rest of the sugar in gradually, alternating it with a little bit of cream just to make sure it stays nice and thin. The frosting is done, so it's time to frost the cookies now.
One eternity later.
It's finally time to try the cookies now, and I thought it would be fun, so I packaged my cookies in a personalized box. I'm gonna start off by trying our Crumbl chocolate chip cookie. Already it definitely feels a little bit denser and heavier than mine, so let's see how this is. This Crumbl chocolate chip cookie is pretty much how I remember it. Definitely has a slightly artificial taste, and it is a little bit dry. However, again, it definitely helps with the chocolate chips in there, which give it a nice chocolatey flavor. But yeah, like I said, in terms of as far as chocolate chip cookies go, this just doesn't blow me away. Now I'm going to be trying the chocolate chip cookie I made, and I definitely noticed that it is lighter. However, it is bigger, and it's also a little bit thinner, but it definitely smells a lot better. Definitely doesn't smell quite as artificial, and it also smells a lot more buttery, so I'm sure this is going to be a lot tastier. I definitely enjoy my Copycat of the Crumbl cookie. It's a lot more flavorful because I really can taste the strong vanilla, because I actually looked up the ingredients on Crumbl and they don't use vanilla in their cookies. So I think that's one difference why mine is a lot better. And it also just doesn't taste quite as processed. Definitely tastes a lot more natural. I don't know what it is, but to me Crumbl cookies just have sort of a mild processed flavor. And also, these are a lot more buttery, so I definitely feel like Crumbl uses some shortening in their cookies because they don't taste quite as buttery as the homemade ones. The homemade ones are definitely way better than Crumbl. Now I'm going to be trying Crumbl's vanilla sugar cookie, and already I can smell it has a very strong artificial vanilla flavor, but I'm still curious to see how it is since I love the original pink sugar cookie. You know, personally, I think this cookie is way too sweet because that's the first thing I think of. The cookie itself is actually pretty buttery, and it's very soft and crumbly, and it melts in your mouth. So I really like the texture. However, the frosting isn't super thick. I mean, it is decently thick, but not unreasonably so. But what's more unreasonable is how sweet it is. It literally just tastes like I'm eating a sugar cube, and it's kind of overwhelmingly sweet. Like, I feel like I could only take a few bites of this, and I'd already feel like I had enough sugar in an entire day. Now it's time to try my sugar cookie in comparison with Crumbl sugar cookie, and I think this one's just gonna be better because the frosting must be less sweet, since Crumbl's frosting tasted like they only used sugar and nothing else to cut it like butter. So I think this is gonna be a lot better. Yep, this is definitely better, just like the chocolate chip was. It's a lot more buttery. I don't know why that's a thing, but they just really must not use very much butter in their cookies, because I definitely noticed it in this buttercream frosting. It almost just reminds me of cupcake frosting. I know it sounds weird on a cookie, but it's really good. And this cookie is also a little bit more salty, so it's definitely not even close to being as sweet. I feel like I could finish this whole cookie, whereas with the Crumbl, I could only take 1 or 2 bites before I'm done. This is a lot better. I also noticed that my sugar cookie is a little bit more firm than Crumbl's, since their cookie seems more like it melts in your mouth, and mine is more of like a traditional sugar cookie texture, and I kinda like that too. My overall conclusion is that the Crumbl Copycat cookies are way better than the cookies from Crumbl because they are just so much higher quality, and they overall just taste a lot better. I'm not that surprised that the Copycat Crumbl cookies were better than the original thing, because I've always thought the homemade cookies always taste better than store-bought cookies for whatever reason it is. Personally, in this case, I thought the Crumbl cookies are good, but I feel like they just have some sort of artificial flavor, and they just don't taste as natural or as pure as the homemade Copycat versions. Both of the Copycat cookie recipes are from Cooking with Carly, and I'll put a link to those recipes in the description down below. I definitely recommend making these Copycat cookies. They're very delicious, and you definitely get a lot better value than when you buy cookies from Crumbl. I really hope you all enjoyed this video, as it was really tiring to make. I started the video at 1 PM and now it's already 7, which means it's literally dark outside. So it took me a total of 6 hours to make this video, but it was definitely worth it. Make sure if you all enjoyed the video to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.